to segment. You need to separate such an information. So let's take a look at the example of the transitive. For example, employee underbar DPT. So after modeling, I got this table. So E-name, social security number determine E-name, social security number B-date, social security number address. And also D-number determine D-name, D-number determine D-manager social security number. Then, what about the first normal form? Is it the first normal form?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. Yes. Is there any non-atomic variable? No. All of them are atomic variable. No composite, no multi-value, no nested. What about the second normal form?
Yes.
Yes? What is the second normal form? For each non-prime attribute, check whether this is a partial or full. This one, this one, this one, this one, and also this one through this one. E-name determined by only one prime attribute. B-date determined by one prime attribute. It cannot be partial. Address same. D-number same. And D-name determined by D-number. D-manager social security number determined by D-manager D-number. All of them are one single prime attribute. It cannot be partial. So which means it's in the second normal form. Next, is this third normal form? Why? You can find transitive. For example, social security number determine D-number, D-number determine D-manager social security number. As you can see, there are two different meanings. One is employee, another one is department. That may cause the problem of third transitive functional dependency. What will be the solution? How can we make it the third normal form? Decompose. Decompose means you can take out this one. Like the social employee information, like the department information. Okay, that's it. If you have the number over here, you can create the foreign key to keep the relation. Okay, to keep the constraint. So this is a third normal. Actually, third normal form is there is one more case. That is I'll show you later. So right now you can understand the third normal form as a no transitive. Okay? The good news is if you believe you are just a normal person. So this time you don't need any computer science, the skill or the knowledge. If you are just a normal people, actually when you organize any information or any data, okay, you don't have to worry about the concept of the functional dependency, or the informal definition of guideline, whatever. Forget about that. I ask you, why don't you organize the company data information? Then most of the people can do automatically up to third normal form. Third normal form is natural. Even first normal form, second normal form is more complicated. So actually that is the reason. Even though before you take this course, some of you guys already used relational database management system in your programming class, in your certain project. If you already did the job, if you already have the job experience, you already did. You already used third normal form. I never heard about such a normalization form, but there was no problem to model because most of the people actually can do up to the third normal form without any problem. That's the good news. The bad news is the other, on beyond the third normal form, the other BCNF or fourth normal form, fifth normal form, something specific normal form is a very, very rare case, but that may cause the problem of the redundancy. Okay? So you need to understand. To understand the other normalization form, you need to understand first, second, and third normalization form. Okay? So this is another example of the normalization. So take a look at loss. it has property ID as the primary key. Then candidate key is a country name plus lot number. Okay? Then area, price, tax rate. Question: what are the prime attributes? Prime attribute. How many prime attributes here? One? Which one? Anyone else?
Three.
Three? What else?
Country name and lot number.
So, raise your hand. Just one prime attribute. Nobody? 1, 2, 3, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. What about 2? 2. There are 2 people. 2. Those who raised the hand for 2, maybe the problem. I can understand up to the 1. So in this case, prime attributes are property ID. Definitely that is the prime attribute because it's a primary key. Then country name and lot number, because definition of the prime attribute are the attribute that belongs to key, primary key or candidate key. Okay, so these are the prime attribute. What about the non? So answer is 3 prime attribute. What about the non-prime attribute? The others are non-prime attribute: area, price, and tax rate. So my question, next question is it first normal form?
Yes.
Yes. Can you find any non-atomic variable? No. All of them are atomic. You cannot divide. What about second normal form? Is it the second normal form? So what about the functional dependency first? To solve the normalization form, you need to identify the functional dependency. So first one is property ID determine this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Yes. And second normal form is country name and lot number determine this one, this one, this one, this one. Yes. Country candidate key and primary key are the same. But only one of them is selected as a primary key. Okay, then the other will be candidate key. So another functional dependency. We have country name determine tax rate. Tax rate is determined by state or country name, right? What about this one? Area determine price. So certain area determine price. So let's say functional dependency are given. There are 4 functional dependencies. In this example, is it in the second normal form or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes? No? What is the second normal form? Full functional dependency. We need to check all non-prime attributes. Area determined by point. So this one is not a problem, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a single prime attribute. So this one is a full. So not a problem. What about this one? Functional dependency 3. This is determined by only part of candidate key. Country name only. So partial dependency. So this is not in second normal form. So we need to take out country name and the tax rate. Let's consider this one. Is it in the first normal form? Automatically first normal form. Why? Because we already make it as the second normal form. Is it second normal form?
Yes.
No.
This is the second normal form, right?
Yeah.
No problem. What about this one?
No.
Yes or no?
No. Yes.
Area determine price.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. We are just one the carefully.
I think no.
It's not clear what it's searching.
This is what is the definition of the second normal form? It's not partial dependency. So price is these two does not have the problem. Price is determined by area. Area is not a prime attribute. So even it's not a partial. So it's okay. Do you understand? So the only problem is when you have country name plus lot number. Similar as the country under by lot number when you have the two prime attribute. In this case, no prime attribute belongs to functional dependency. However, this one is transitive because area determines the price. So area is determined by property ID, right? So it's a transitive. So this is not in third normal form. We need to address that one. How to address? We need to take out such a thing. Okay? Okay, that is the third normal form. This is the area determine price. So we can have the one property ID, country name, lot number, and area and price, and also country name determine tax rate. That belongs to third normal form. So we can have up to the third normal form. The next one is Bose code normalization form. Actually, the Dr. E.F. code and the Bose, they are in the same research lab in IBM T.J. Watson Center in 1969. At the time, they proposed the new database model, that is the relational database model, which is one of the most popular paper published in the ACM library so far. Then they implement a new database management system based on the model that they proposed. That is the relational database management system, which is called the System R project. R stands for relation, definitely. However, IBM decided not to fund more the relational model database. Instead, they try to keep the hierarchical database model. Then, actually, some of the people quit the job, quit the IBM. Then they make the new corporation, new company that is eventually Oracle database. Anyway, at the time, Bush and Dr. Code realized sometimes certain database model is satisfied with the no transitive up to the third normal form. From time to time, that caused a problem. Problem of what? Redundant information. Then they realized there are different types of the transitive. Actually, third definition of the third normal form, formal definition is when functional dependency X determine A, X determine 1. X is a superkey. X is a superkey means the prime attribute. Okay? X is a prime attribute. Or Y, A side is a prime attribute. In other words, so this is the one table. This is the primary key. So prime attribute X, prime attribute Y, and Z. So there are two functional dependencies. There are two functional dependencies. So one is X and Y determine Z. So if you consider only the X functional dependency 1, there's no problem. It's up to the third normal form. What about this one? Z determine Y. Do you think it's a transitive or not?
It's transitive.
Is it transitive or not?
Yes.
So in case that Z determine A, definitely it's a transitive. This is not in the third normal form. However, in this case, according to the definition, X determine A. X determine A, so Z determine Y. Y is a prime attribute. A is a prime attribute. So this is okay for third normal form, which means that this is not considered as transitive. The reason is that transitive means X, Y, Z. X determine Y, Y determine Z. It's a transitive, so eventually X determine new one, right? X determine Y, Y determine Z, so X eventually determine new one. However, in this case, if we consider this as the transitive, X and Y determine Z, and Z determine Y. Actually, I determine myself. Is it transitive? No, actually, I determine definitely it's me. So it's not considered as the different meaning. It's in the same meaning. Okay, do you understand? So this is in the third normal form. However, sometimes that may cause the redundant information. So Dr. Boshi and Dr. Code decide we are not going to allow this one. This is called the pseudo-transitive. Pseudo means it's a fake. Fake. Actually, this is a fake transitive, but because of that, there are redundant information. We are going to consider this one as the transitive. Then we need to solve that problem. How to solve? Segment. We can take out this one. Then that is called BCNF. Also called normalization form. This is more straight. So far we have learned unnormalized. And first normal form. Second normal form. Third normal form. And BCNF. Most of the case, 99%, more than 99% of the database design in worldwide, they satisfy with up to BCNF. Okay? The others are very case by case. Sometimes multi-valued one, sometimes the other. So I'm not going to explain the other specific case. You can understand right now the other. So let's take a look at the example of BCNF. So this one. Let's say there is one more transitive area determine country name. Actually, property ID country name determine area, but area determine country name again. So I determine my twin brother. Twin brother determine me. So actually, I determine myself. It's not transitive, but because of that, that may cause a redundant information. We will see some examples. So we will consider this one as the transitive. Then that is the BCNF. So this will be eventually like that. The example is like this one. Student, course, and instructor. Course determine student and course determine instructor. Yes, you can find the student. So among my course, I can, using my course name, I can find the instructor. And instructor actually teach course. So it looks like the transitive, but actually it's not transitive because instructor and course are almost the same. Okay? So in this case, this is not in BCNF, but it's in the third normal form. So we need to address that problem. So there are different ways of the segmentation in this case. The first one is we can student instructor and student course. The second one is course instructor, course student. Instructor course, instructor student. Any one of anything. It can be anything, but how can we decide? At that time, which one is the important information in your database? For example, first one is based on the student. So this is for student database. So it's oriented by the derived by the student. At that time, you can take the first one. But if this database is for instructor, this is for instructor database, then you can put the instructor as the in between. Okay, something like that. That's the. If I have a time, I'd like to have the test. So this is for your practice. It's a homework.